It's time! It's
Rumbleverse time! That's right, the new battle royale that's taking the world by storm is one after my own heart. In fact, it is the exact kind of game I have been searching for since the genre was created. A battle royale with the intricacies of a fighting game makes my soul a tingle. And don't forget, battle royales are very commonplace in the wrestling world. And now that it's here, it is time to get shot out of a cannon, not joking, that's how we get around the world, and kick some tail. And with this guide, I'm going to help you unleash the beast and become the best rumbler Grapidal City has to offer. Probably. Also, if my voice sounds a little bit scuffed here, I am suffering from vocal cord paralysis, so getting this video done is a kind of a miracle of itself. And with that said, welcome to the dungeon. I am Tek, and this is my guide to being the best Rumbleverse player you can possibly be. Probably. Okay, so first things first, explore the playground. This is a free roam area that teaches you the ropes and allows you to get a feel for the map. There are bots that can help you practice the many skills, combos, and test the different attack priorities this game works on. The only downside to this mode is that it is an online only mode for now, meaning one, it requires a server to join, so you'll have to wait for matchmaking, and if things are going slow it can even time out. Two, when you're inside it, there's actually a time limit, which made making this guide a bit of a ball ache, because writing scripts and testing things take time. And three, there are other players joining in the playground too, which although you don't have to engage with them, as the devs have nicely added a non-combat mode a la GTA Online, it does mean that they can take items you wanted to try, forcing you to go a-searching, or attack bots that you're working on, thus ruining your setup game and leading to the frustrations of point 2. Kinda makes me wish they had the spell break practice arena, but to be honest I got all I needed to show from here in the end, so there's enough space to be unimpeded if you move around. Okay, so before we get into world specific stuff like looting and power-ups, let's go over our basic but vital stuff. This will make you ready for all that comes ahead. So, starting with the most important thing in my opinion, stamina. This is important because without it, you are as good as dead. It allows us our traversal, our main way of getting around the map, and we consume it so easily. We have our dash that ties to the left trigger, and this takes anywhere from 5 to 10% of our stamina use, and will continue to drain it so long as we hold down the trigger. This does allow us to get around the map faster and has some combat prowess that I'll talk about in time, but it's the movement that's of the utmost importance. Combine this with the jump button and you will spring from building to building, allowing for the cool parkour moments that the game has been praised for. This leap also takes a huge chunk of stamina, so yeah, you can't just spam it or else you're gonna be in trouble. Pressing the interact button tied to circle/B for console players near a wall will allow you to climb it like you're King Kong going on a date to see the red arrows. That poor dumb bastard. Pressing the jump button while climbing will allow you to scale it faster at the cost of more stamina, and if you run out of stamina midway up, well, this won't cause damage, but if you were trying to escape the clutches of an enemy, well, you're now a sitting duck. So how do we get our stamina back, I hear you ask? Well, there are a few ways. The first and easiest way is to just let it refill naturally. This game isn't as punishing as opposed to some other battle royales where once you are low on resources, you need to find items to recover it. The stamina bar is always filling back up, at a decent rate. But we do have ways to speed things up. First and foremost, stamina drinks, which can be found in dedicated vending machines around the map, or randomly found in either loot boxes, these special targeting zones, or out and about on the map. Being knocked down will also allow your stamina to regen quicker, and allows access to wake up options, which we'll touch on during the combat section. There's also the super mode that will instantly restore stamina in a pinch. But the easiest way is tied to our other big important mechanic, blocking. Yes, as the good saying goes, the best offense is a good defense.
I don't think that's how the saying goes.
And the block button, tied to your right trigger, is a key tool for being the best. You see, this game is a fighting game masquerading as a battle royale. All the basic tech and fundamental strategies can be actually transferred from fighting games to this game. Blocking certain attacks will leave you at an advantage to punish the opponent accordingly, and holding the block button down will regenerate your stamina at a quicker rate. And it's also a wake up option, so you gain stamina from being on the ground, and then gain stamina again on wake up. Now this isn't foolproof, as there are attacks that are unblockable, so if you wake up blocking and they see that, they can catch you, and punish you for playing safe. But that's where dodging comes in, so pressing both the block button and the dash button together will allow you to dodge, gaining a brief window of invincibility for a hefty amount of stamina. This now allows you to punish those unblockable attacks if timed correctly. This can also be done as a wake up option, so you get a nice brief respite from the fight, and it allows for a tactical retreat if need be. Now these are the key things to know before we go in, as without the defense, you are always going to lose. In a fighting game, you can know the longest, most damage dealing combos, but if the enemy can block your opener, you got nothing. And the same goes for here, so knowing how to punish is vital. Okay, so let's talk about combat. In this game we have a bunch of attacks with a bunch of different priorities over one another. If two attacks from the same priority connect, we get a clash, meaning it just resets to neutral. What beats what is important, and how we will cover this is by going in the order of lowest priority to high. So, starting with the lowest rung on the ladder, we have the basic vicious attack, tied to the triangle/Y button for console players. This is your unblockable high damage attack. The neutral version is the suplex, a high damaging attack that sends you and the opponent backwards. The damage is height based, so utilizing the bouncy terrain like cars can allow a simple suplex to deal massive damage. The charged version is an axe handle slam that basically knocks the opponent back for no damage as far as I can tell. This is a quick get away from me tool that allows you to have a bit of a breather, but the fact that it's the least priority means it's more for positioning. The version is an to attack, meaning it only hits airborne opponents, and is no different from the neutral one. Visually it's a German suplex, and is great as a combo finisher off a wall splattered opponent. The dash version is an Irish whip, and it is a key combo starter near a wall. Whip them into the wall, dash leap into your opponent, and it's Suplex City. Finally we have the wake up version, which I call the low blow. This deals no damage but stuns the enemy for a long period of time, as they mourn the loss of their unmentionables. This allows you to go for a vicious attack of your own, and you can also perform this after a wake up dodge. So if you get knocked too far away from the opponent, you can wake up dodge and close the gap and land a quick low blow that'll catch your opponent off guard. Next up in the pecking order are the special vicious attacks. These are moves learned from magazines, again dropped from either dedicated vending machines, loot crates, or targets. Learning from these magazines will allow you to assign the respective attack to either the left or right bumper, and these have priority over every basic vicious attack. Now there are 5.5 special vicious lines, all with their own different methods of play. First, we'll tackle the half, in the form of the Mist Line's level 1, Vicious Mist. This is the patented poison mist attack you get in a lot of Japanese wrestling. This attack stuns the opponent long enough to allow you to get a free vicious attack or special vicious in. Nothing really more to say, you're going to have a lot of combos if you connect this attack. The level 1 choke slam has you grab your opponent, leap into the air and slam them down in front of you. The super version is chargeable and has a higher leap that covers more distance. Both of these are great moves to utilize near bouncy objects or on top of tall buildings for that height damage. The Azuna drop, my favourite move of all time in all forms of media, is in the same boat, if not even better. Both this and the level 2 version have high leaps and go much further. The only downside to them is that they can't be adjusted in mid-air. But again, catch someone on a building and have a bouncy terrain underneath you, and that's some big damage. The spear or tackle line are my favourite grabs after Azuna drop. Coincidentally, they are also my most hated moves to go up against. The level 1 version, while dealing small amounts of damage, does absolutely great near a wall, as the wall splat will deal a flat 300 damage as of this video. This could change, but for now it does a flat 300. This wall splat damage does become a downgrade as you upgrade the skills, as the level 3 version javelin tackle far surpasses that with its regular damage. The key difference is the distance you gain from your spears, going from the level of Edge to Roman Reigns to freaking Goldberg. This was my first skill ever learned and my first kill ever earned, and spearing someone off a building is such a great feeling. The biggest problem at times though is that the level 3 version could probably be seen as too good. The distance you cover just to actually land the attack is quite fair, and it becomes very spammable as the game comes to a close. The swing line are keep away / ring out skills. The only real important difference is the accuracy. The level 3 version allows you to aim anywhere you want with perfect precision, while its level 2 version will always be slightly to the left. This is important when going for a wall splat or a ring out because you need to correct your aiming if you only have the level 2 version. Finally, we have the cutters, or crushers as the game calls them. These are some big damage combo enders. The first 2 levels, Ruby and Emerald Crusher, are the standard Diamond Cutter / RKO moves that have you travel backwards at differing lengths, so upgrades of your actual suplex attack. But the level 3 skill, Diamond Crusher, is actually the Stone Cold Stunner. You don't move, but the opponent goes flying in an amazing oversell, making this a great combo ender near ring out areas or at the top of a building. Again, these are all pick your poison kind of deals. They're all of the same type, so will all clash with each other and are the second lowest priority, so you build upon them around your own playstyle. And one last thing before I forget is that all specials can be done on wake up as well. But yeah, still good to know, as moves like the spear can catch an opponent by surprise. Next up on the priority ladder are the basic strikes, tied to the square / X button for console players. These are your main combo starters, the fast strikes that deal little damage but build into bigger things. We have about the same amount as the basic vicious attacks: neutral, charged, air, wake up and dash, the latter I'll be talking about much later. But we also have combo strings, not a lot, but we have them. So as always, I'll start with the neutral, which is a simple Ric Flair like chop, nothing special. It's a fast enough poke that's great for a quick interrupt, and it can also be charged, which if you do, the chop will stun the opponent for a moment, allowing you to go in for a suplex or special vicious for that quick cash in, or if you're able and free to, an Irish whip to get a full combo going. Next we have the combo strings, and to make the inputs more generalized and easier to sort of learn, I'm going to number the strike attack input as 1 and the vicious attack input as 2. Hopefully that makes things easier down the line. So, starting with 1-1, this is a simple double hit combo that doesn't really do much. It's mainly used for what I classify as a mix-up in this game. Either on hits or on block, you do the 1-1 combo and then drop it. Then they have to read what you're gonna do next. Could be another chop, could be a suplex, or could be one of your specials if you have them. But this begins the conditioning phase. Next we have the 1-2 combo. This is our first strike into a vicious combination, and it is beastie. The final hit being a punt kick that will send the opponent backwards. If they are near a wall, it will begin a wall splat, allowing you to follow up with a suplex, a special, or even an Irish whip to squeeze in that bit more damage. Really powerful stuff has helped me get some great KOs. Our penultimate string, 111, is a 3-hit hard knockdown combo. You use this to get them under pressure and force their wake up. Now there are a lot of ways to work with this. Some players move around the downed opponent to wait and see what they do, others go for a bit of a bait and try and force the wake up, but yeah, it's a very simple combo. Our final combo string is 112, and this is a real dark horse. This has the last hit uppercut the opponent, sending them flying behind you. They're not too high for any real follow-up unless you're against the wall, and it counts as a hard knockdown, so your options are limited. But its main use is a real clutch. So, a simple scenario is you land next to an opponent on the roof of a building or on the freeway. There's a ton of loot and you are basically fighting for a big tactical advantage in the game. You're close to the edge, but you've blocked the opponent's attack. Quick 112, and now the opponent is off the building, allowing you free time to plunder what you need and stash what you think they need. It is a beautiful trick, and there is still a way to deal some extra damage if you need. And that is with the aerial strike attack, the elbow drop. This is both a damage dealer and an off the ground attack, meaning it hits grounded opponents. So you hit with the 3-hit combos, jump and land the elbow drop, you got some decent extra damage. For the OTG of the 112, you knock them up, dash jump behind yourself, and do an elbow drop. You should be able to squeeze in that little bit more damage and send them into a roll, which basically resets them back to neutral standing. They will be invincible for a moment, but you've sort of removed the wake up option. Speaking of which, the wake up strike is a simple get off me tool. On hit, it will send the opponent rolling back and put them into an invincible state, resetting both of you to neutral. But if they're close to a wall, it's a combo starter thanks to a wall splat. And just like with the vicious attack, you can perform this attack off the wake up dodge. So like I said, I'm saving the dash till later, so next on the priority ladder are special strikes. These are the strike attacks learned from magazines, just like the grabs. There are 8.5 of these skill lines, one of which I won't be talking about until the power priority section. And these are the second highest natural priority attacks in the game. I say this as magazines are very easy to come by, and once you learn one, it's just another attack in your arsenal. Again, these can be done in the air and on wake up, but are easily blocked because they are strikes. So, starting off with the other half, and that is Bad Breath, the upgrade to Vicious Mist, and a throwback to the franchise I built this channel around. This no longer stuns the opponent, but instead poisons them, adding a damage over a time effect. What's more, they become perfect elbow dropping targets while in the animation lock. It's also chargeable, allowing for multiple foes to be hit. The super kick line is a quick kick that works great for combo extensions. The level 1 version is chargeable with the initial strike dealing a hard knockdown, which you can get a quick cheeky elbow drop off of, while the charged version sends the opponent rolling for a wall splat, allowing for extended combos. The level 2 is also chargeable, but sends the opponent skywards, with the charged version sending them flying even more. This adds 2 levels of play in some senses. The green one is for easier wall splats and combo setups, while the blue is more for keep away, ring outs, but can still set up those combos just in a different way. The punchline line is another wall splat skill that this time is in the form of the Superman punch. The level 2 version Atomic Punchline sends the opponents much further, but aside from damage, there's no real difference. Use it the same way you would Super Kick. Now the Sumo Slap line is a beautiful throwback to Street Fighter's E Honda, sending the opponent rolling for another wall splat. The level 1 version of Sumo Slap is nothing special, but the other two are very much so. The level 2 version, Poison Sumo Slap, applies poison to the opponent for damage over time, while still giving that wall splat, meaning they are taking more damage while they eat a full combo. The level 3, Super Sumo Slap, is chargeable and deals a barrage of slaps before a very long knockback. Again, this goes with how you want to play. Poison is probably the better route in my opinion because dots be dangerous. The dive line are great gap closers. The initial attack isn't something special, it can be used in wall combos and might be great for tag team action during duos, but it's mostly the traversal part that's important. The distance of the level 3 Dolphin Dive is insane. The shot line is my personal favourite strike special. The level 1 Goal Shot is just your standard punt kick, which is great again for getting that German off the wall bounce. But it's the next 2 levels which it really shines. The level 2 Wrecked Shot converts the punt kick into a spinning overhead kick, which may or may not be a reference to the best blitzball shot in history, but with that name, they knew what they were doing. The level 3 version, Cosmo Shot, is a beefed up version of the Wreck Shot, a Wreck Shot Mark III, if you will. The added height makes this a real danger near out of bound areas. In fact, this move showed me personally that ring outs actually exist in this game. But seriously, this is my go-to move. It feels like it's kind of a signature because there's a lot of Final Fantasy reference in it, and it's just a great move. Hell, it even netted me my first win. The Cyclone line is a well-known throwback to the first Grapple Boy, Zangief, and is one of the very few AoE attacks in game. Every version is chargeable, and the only real difference outside of the damage is how many hits the uncharged version does. The level 1 version, Cyclone, only deals the initial attack, with the charged version dealing 2 extra hits. The level 2, Super Cyclone, deals 1 extra hit before the initial attack, with the same 2 extra hits when charged. And level 3, the Omega Cyclone, deals those 2 extra hits as the other charged versions had, with its own charged version dealing 4 extra hits before the uppercut. The rocket line is the last line we are going to talk about in this section, and is mainly a traversal tool. Sure, it deals damage, but it's more about the traversal above everything else. Both are chargeable, and using this blue building, the level 2 rocket jump gets you just landing on that initial rooftop, while the level 3 skyrocket clears that with ease and also puts you into the free fall state. It also deals damage and knocks the opponent back while you are charging it, so it's a great defensive tool as well. Okay, so like I said, there is one more line, but it kinda cheats the priority system. So the next tier of priority is weapons. The equalizer, as they say. They come in all shapes, sizes and tiers, but they outclass all that has come before them. Only 2 tiers surpass them. Now the main problem is, these things aren't natural. You need to find one out and about in the world, and they are limited, as after so many hits, they break. So like I said, not natural. Now when you pick up a weapon, you are locked out of your specials. Instead, the bumpers become both aim and throw respectively, allowing for some projectile play. And as wrestling has shown us, some of the best weapon shots in the business have come from throws. Now the penultimate tier of priority are power moves. So far, there are only 2 members of this elusive club, the dash strike and the uppercut line, which technically makes it 4, but I class it all as one line. The dash strike is a running dropkick. This is one of your best attacks in the game. The only thing that consistently beats it is blocking. They block you, you're a sitting duck. There's also the occasional missed dropkick, but yeah. This move is key to a lot of big damage combos. If you can get a special strike to wall splat, then Irish whip into a running dropkick for the final wall splat, then land your ender, we are talking big big damage. Lastly, there's the uppercut line, or the Shoryuken. These bypass themselves into power priority, which is a very nice nod to the Dragon Punch in general. You see, a lot of fighting games give moves that have the Dragon Punch input invulnerability, making them great wake-up options. This game, making the uppercut power priority, effectively does the exact same thing. Almost nothing beats it. The level 1 uppercut is your standard Shoryuken, an anti-air wake-up tool. The other two are chargeable. Level 2, Bionic Uppercut, deals an extra hit and sends the opponent flying, similar to Ken's medium or heavy Shoryuken in Street Fighter. While the level 3, Omega Uppercut, is just Ken's Shinryuken, a very great homage to the genre and a lovely work by the devs, I have to say. Finally, we have the highest tier, the Super. Nothing beats the Super. So with this, we can talk about the Superstar mode in general, which, while you are fighting, or if you collect these little blue stars around the map or in loot crates, you will build up your super meter. When full, this has one of two uses. The first I'll pull up is that it is your extra lifeline. If you are KO'd while this is full, you will automatically spend it and restore a third of your HP. On the negative side, it isn't a great trade-off, as you are most likely one special or suplex away from being KO'd again, but at least you are still in the game. The other and more important use for the super meter is Superstar mode. This, as we have already stated, fills your stamina to full from wherever it was instantly, but it will also regenerate your health over time. You will also gain access to the super vicious attack, the super priority move. You land this, you throw the opponent up for a super screwball pile driver, a la Zangief or King from the Tek'S series. Now, the Superstar mode has two ways to transform. The initial transformation, just by pressing triangle or Y, is a big get off me shockwave that resets everyone to neutral, which is great if you need time to recover. But if you hold the super button, you will get an invincible transformation. No shockwave, but this becomes a really powerful tool. As one, you can use it to quickly dodge an opponent's super and catch them with your very own. Seriously, there's a lot of neat little intricacies that you can do with this game. Now, you heard me say the attack was based on your power. This is because your power, health, and stamina reserves can be increased as you loot around the map, thanks to the powders. Arms for damage, core for health, and legs for stamina. In singles you can stack up to 10 powders, and in duos you get 8. But there is no limit to how many of each powder you use. So throughout your entire game, if you were only able to find arms powder, you will max that out at 10 and become somewhat of a glass cannon. Usually in singles I like a 4-4-2 ratio, so I still have a decent amount of stamina, but at a stretch you get what you're given. Okay, so them's the basics. Realistically now you have all the tools you need to become a champion, but we do have some tips to help you get there. One of the main things is to not be too aggressive. Like I said, this is essentially a fighting game, and while rushdown tactics can work, if you leave yourself open too much, you're basically screwed. Pick your battles, but remember to not avoid fights altogether. You see, throughout the game you earn perks for the damage you deal and the KOs you rack up. These can be anything from upgrading the dropkick or suplex to a missile dropkick and brain buster, increasing their damage values and traits, or even gaining the ability to regen your health by damaging opponents or just by standing still. There was a little cheat sheet on Reddit by the Partisan Spy that I'll show here, and this shows the values and what the perks do. But yeah, the more you have, the stronger you are. Now when you blast off, as with all battle royales, the general aim is to go for the outer areas of the map. One, they are closest to the actual dead zone and you won't have a lot of time before it closes in, so a lot of players will kind of opt to go to the center to not deal with that. That being said, if you're watching this in the future and this video has blown up, do the exact opposite of what I've said, because now everyone wants to go to the outer area. What can I say? I like creating chaos. Now, loot priority is always going to be powders, magazines, and chicken. You need the boosts, you need the skills, and you definitely need the health. Use the terrain. Sometimes a quick climb and elbow drop from the higher ground can net you elimination. Heck, I had this one moment where I was being chased around the big pagoda near the center. I go around the corner, quickly climb up and drop an elbow drop and get myself an elimination. Next, use weapons. I know I've already been talking about them, but use weapons. Only the dropkick, Shoryuken, and super beat them. Meaning if you have a weapon and get a knockdown, the opponent can only block. This makes things so much easier for you because, again, it's all about conditioning. And finally, remember, it's a battle royale. You're one of 40 players. You can win 2 games on the trot and then come 38th in the next game, and that's okay. You're going to make mistakes, some minor, some that will cost you the game. Now, those of you on PS5 have the ability to record your gameplay, which you can look at and see where things went wrong. Like as an example, after hitting this super, I don't notice the guy who gets caught in the blast and splattered on the wall. So I go for some chicken. The dude attacks me, I evade, but go for a chop, with the chicken still in hand. So yeah, a minor mistake led to a fail one. But that's a fighting game. You just pick yourself up and keep going. Sooner or later, you are going to get that chicken dinner crown, or whatever it is they try and advertise it as. It's champion. I think it's champion. Now, if you found this guide helpful, please show it by suplexing that like button, jack-shotting that subscribe button, and Izuna dropping the bell thingy. Also, don't forget to follow me on Twitch and Twitter to join in on some good times. And if there's something you felt I've missed, or have some tips and tricks you found yourself, slap them in the comment section below. And I'll see you guys in my next video. But until that day, this has been Techno Odin. Stay safe, claim skulls, smash bosses, and go super mode.